or sorry, on the computer in person, right? I need somebody to help me to make sure that this stuff is turned in. I can show you in person. I can't do it over the computer. I need help with that. If you tell me that you can help me with that, if you tell me, hey, Sean, if you come here in person, I'll look at it in person, I'll go there and show you in person, and what do? You end up being a fucking alcoholic who wants to fucking scream at people until 4 o'clock in the goddamn morning. Holy hell, who's got time for that? That is not an environment conducive to getting any goddamn work done. Just like living in a fucking Honda Civic that's full of evidence and stuff that needs to keep me alive. That's not an environment that is conducive to doing any of this, especially since there is no outlet for plugging in the electronics. There is no way for me to use my computer in there to do any of the things that I need to do. And there's a lot of options that are just simply not on the phone. Facebook, for example, there's lots of things that on Facebook you can do if you're on the computer. On the phone you can't. Right after Natalie was killed, thousands of people took part in threats, harassment, intimidation, trying to destroy evidence on my YouTube channel. And of course, I'm treated like I'm schizophrenic for saying this. I mean, holy shit, how difficult is it? You can type up the word Natalie Bollinger and see that I'm not schizophrenic. You can type up the name Natalie Bollinger and see that I'm telling the truth. You can see my face and Natalie's. You can read the slander. You can also see that even though my Facebook is all sorts of full of evidence that shows that they sold a false fucking narrative, I was never allowed to show anything in court. I was literally forced to break the law to try to get the cops to do their goddamn jobs, and I'm pretty goddamn close to it here. Do not force me to break the law to get help. Do not ignore the crimes against me. Do not talk over me while I am trying to explain what is going on. And do not make fucking excuses for my goddamn predators, you pieces of shit. If you're gonna help me, don't tell me you're fucking sorry and don't tell me your goddamn life story. Don't fucking do it. I record everything, and if you're a bitch ass who don't do what they say they're gonna do, I'm gonna post it on the fucking internet. Now, it can either be a posting of you not keeping your word, or it can be of you not only not keeping your word, but talking about all of your personal bullshit instead of helping. All that does is increase my anxiety and show me you don't give a fuck about me. You don't give a fuck about helping me. You don't give a fuck what's going on. And then you want to stop and interrupt me constantly to ask fucking questions that are all over the goddamn place. This shit happened as a timeline. The evidence shows that. I have communication issues based on how fucking frustrated I am, and how frustrated I am is based on how you fucking treat me. How about instead of making me explain it and you deciding whether or not you fucking believe me, how about you look at the fucking evidence that is fucking time and date stamped? You fucking ignorant pieces of shit! So Shannon Alvarado. Yeah, if I go there in person, she'll look at it in person, blah, 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 blah. Same thing with Graham Milburn, but Graham Milburn didn't keep his word either. Now, I gave him the benefit of the doubt. Most of that shit was over Joshua Eichelberger. Now, Joshua Eichelberger, man, that guy was a fucking piece of shit. But Graham Milburn, every time that Graham was going to help me, and I paid my rent there, Tabitha didn't need my rent money. $500 in cash. Handed to her right in front of Brandon Ratner. Yes, I paid her $500 rent. I also paid for a whole bunch of their pot. I paid for a bunch of their alcohol. Well, not theirs. I shouldn't say theirs. It's, like I said, Joshua Eichelberger. Joshua Eichelberger is an alcoholic, though, who is in constant need of fucking attention. Just like Molly is in constant need of fucking attention. I'm not after attention. I'm after help. Do you not fucking get that? I am after help. But I gotta be afraid to even ask for help. Maybe if I see Dallas again, I'll ask him if he'll go in with me. This is a different Dallas than the one I know in Chapel. This is the Dallas that was there the other night. I was there for a while. No, they didn't see me beating on anybody's vehicles. She was telling them that I beat on her vehicle like an hour prior or some shit like that. I'd have to go back and listen to the video, of course. And that's like 2 hours after she was beating on mine. And fucking yelling at me like Jesus goddamn Christ. I've spoken to the cops about her. It is recorded on my YouTube channel. Multiple occasions where I tried to explain to the cops what was going on with Molly, explaining that it's on my YouTube channel, that I need help stopping it. Oh, we'll check out your YouTube channel. Sure you will, asshole. Sure you will. I'm a homeless person. You're not going to do shit. You're going to pretend it didn't happen. You probably won't even write it down in your fucking logbook. Now, thank goodness for that lady there at Tides of Change, because yesterday, finally, there was one of these supposedly professional type people and an officer in the room at the same time. It's been like 7 years now, almost. Why did it take this long to get that to happen? Why didn't Penny Cooper do that like she was supposed to? Why didn't Jen Beebe do that like she was supposed to? Why didn't Nicole Peralta do that like she was supposed to? Why didn't Jeff Ritter do that like he was supposed to? When we're being abused, no, that's not fucking civil. That is not a civil situation. This has gone way beyond being a civil situation. These are criminal acts with criminal intent from somebody who is criminally fucking insane. Molly is a fucking nut job. That's a fucking narcissist. Alicia Bollinger is a fucking narcissist. Maddie Boa, a fucking narcissist. Anyone who is going to victimize somebody and then blame the fucking victim. Jesus fucking Christ, I was honest with these people. Do you get that? Honest with them. The people who said, oh, yeah, Sean, I can help you with the computer stuff. And I went there, and what did they do? Busy after sex. Busy after drugs. Busy after alcohol. Not busy helping. No matter how much I paid. How many people did I pay to fucking look at fucking evidence and help me to turn it in? A lot. And how many of those people showed up fucked up? How many of them people showed up and made a fucking mess of those things? How many people showed up and fucking threatened or harassed me? No, this shit is not fucking okay. I've been victimized to the point where I just have to let people do things, where I will say yes to things that I'm not okay with because I just have to let it happen. Nobody's going to do a goddamn thing about it. I'm going to try to get help from these groups that are supposed to help victims of domestic violence. Right? That's who I'm supposed to go to. Why is that who I'm going to? Just because it's a weekend. And that's not what they do something about. What I'm going through is worse than domestic violence because it has been repeated domestic violence. And you do not have to be in a domestic partnership with someone. With the shit at Shannon Alvarado's, yes, that can be considered domestic violence. Beating on your children is domestic violence. It doesn't have to be physical either. Did you know that? Shannon Alvarado wasn't physical with anybody there. Rick was. And I was there for it. I was present for it, and I saw it. It did happen. Rick did not physically assault Shannon. Rick physically assaulted her autistic 18-year-old daughter who could not speak. He should have gone to fucking prison is what he should have done. But I gotta be afraid of going to the police, and I gotta be afraid of losing all of my evidence for trying. Shannon Alvarado's alcoholism fucked things up for me a lot. And you want to say it's my fault. This is what you do to the men. You tell us that it's our fault for going to those people for help. It's our fault for trying to get help. We shouldn't have been there. We should have thought better of it. It's the hindsight is 2020 thing when you're a man. When it's a woman, it's, oh, well, we better go after the son of a bitch. We better do this. We better do that. When it's a man, you will fucking watch. It's voyeurism to you. You get off on it. And more importantly, the Christian community gets off on it. You can't believe a group of people that tells you that lying is not okay, but it's okay to lie as long as you repent right before you die. I got Jesus in my heart. No, the fuck you don't. You got a little Jesus statue in your heart? Maybe you got a tattoo on your chest of a Jesus, but there's no Jesus actually in there. Your heart's in the right place. That's right. It is in your fucking chest where it belongs. It's not in your stomach. It's not in your fucking head. It's in your chest. So yes, your heart is in the right place. What you mean to say is that you had good intentions, or the best of intentions even. But did you really? And if you had the best of intentions, you got to understand that I can't eat intentions. I can't walk into a court of law with intentions. If you're going to tell me this shit, either it happened or you were manipulating me. If you manipulated me, then you need to go to fucking prison for it. If these things actually happened, then the people who perpetrated these things need to go to prison. So you need to ask yourself, are you the predator or are you the victim? because you're both. If these people threatened your life and threatened your kids, and you take it out on me, yes, you're the victim, but you're also a fucking predator and a piece of shit at that. No, your kids are a shitty fucking excuse. Your kids are a shitty fucking excuse. What the fuck kind of a parent is just gonna let people threaten to kill their fucking kids? So you goddamn right I spoke up. These people promised that they were going to help, but then they didn't because people threatening their kids. And I'm supposed to think just exclusively about their kids, right? I've had to deal with these people threatening to kill my family since 2016, but then they want me to think about their fucking kids. Oh, I certainly am. I'm also thinking about their parents. And I'm thinking about how fucked up their parents are putting their children at risk like that. Why would you want to fucking manipulate a disabled person who's being victimized? And what kind of a sick fucking parent uses their kids to fucking manipulate after they do something fucking wrong? That's almost every parent I know. How many parents that I know fess up to jack shit? None of them. None of them. Most of them are only parents because they couldn't stay off of drugs and alcohol. No, they're not fucking responsible. They constantly need help because they got kids, but then they can't even tell the truth, and their excuse is they got kids. I'm sorry, Sean. I would if I could, but I got kids. Bitch, I'm asking you to tell the truth, not adopt a fucking cop. Your good intentions ain't shit. It's your follow through. That's the difference between like and love. Do you follow through? These guys wanting to give me advice, a lot of them liked me. They liked me. They wanted to give me what they thought was good advice, but their good advice was based on fucking ignorance. Based on situations that I'm not in. Yes, walk away when you can, but when you can't, you have to make a fucking stand. There's a big difference between a strategic withdrawal and a retreat. Numbers alone confer no advantage. I know that historically what it has taken for black people to get rights as human beings, for people who are not kings and queens to have rights as human beings, matter of fact, I mean, we can go look throughout history. What does it take? It takes a lot of killing. It takes a lot of guns, or swords back then, or Welsh longbows. Violence. They want to keep you in place with violence. Tell you how it's a free country, and then we've got violent police. You better not be broke, or those police will be unleashed on you. You can see how rich a person in jail is based on how the police treat them. Those guards, they know who it is that come in there with a lot of money, and they know who don't. One of the good judges of that is commissary. When you got a guy who's allowed to max out on commissary, $200 a week. $200 a week somebody's spending in there on commissary. Well, several people, actually. My God, they get treated like kings. Not just by the guards, but also by the inmates. They want somebody beaten up. All right, here's some commissary. Go beat them up. Here's a couple of ramen noodles. Go beat them up. Commissary is used for trade. Ramen noodles are like, well, you can equate a package of ramen noodles in jail to about $20 on the out. I don't mean it's a straight trade. I mean that there's people in there don't got no goddamn commissary. So some of them will make you a shank. Some of them will draw you a picture. Some of them will fluff your nuggets. The thing is that when you're locked up, nobody listens to you. Your guilt is assumed. And the guards, they can do whatever they want to you because no matter what, you're going to be treated like you made it up. And every guard knows this, and every inmate knows this. I'm victimized by the cowardice of others. I am victimized because my heart is indeed in the right place, and my intentions are always in the right place. And that's why it is okay to harm me at will. That's why people think that it's okay to talk over me and talk about themselves. I don't like confrontation either. I do my best to save my screaming for the internet, but when it is an unsafe situation for me, I will scream in real fucking life. I should not have to. I have taken this situation to the cops repeatedly. She has repeatedly utilized the police to harass me for her because she didn't get what she fucking wanted from Tom. This shit needs to stop. This woman has shown an established pattern of behavior and has shown that she is intentionally picking people who are at-risk adults to victimize. People that she can try to discredit. Fuck the police. As far as advocates go, how can they advocate when they're not even looking at evidence? They can help with some of the paperwork. That's great. That really is great. But the first thing that needs to be done is the preservation of my evidence. You know how they kept me in a fucking constant state of panic after locking me up? By stealing my fucking evidence. I had to be afraid for my fucking evidence. That I would never get it back. That I would never be allowed to show it. That these very cops, that they were taking the word of, that there is evidence that these cops fucking lied outright and repeatedly, and nobody will fucking look at it. And I am being victimized to this day everywhere that I go over crimes that I did not fucking commit. And the fact that I have never, ever been allowed my rights, ever, to defend myself in court, to face my accusers, to show evidence, or to even fucking turn them in. When you have to turn your predators into people who are being predatory towards you, you can rest assured nothing will be done. When you are forced to go to very specifically the officer that you are trying to turn in for the crimes that he has committed, and these people, after you have stated this on a call with dispatch, one of those calls at least 11 times, I had to explain to that lady in one fucking call, hey, I am trying to turn this officer in because of crimes that he committed against me, and I'm being told that this is who I need to call. So you are the people that I'm calling because you are the ones that I am told to call. Let me put you on hold, please. All right, we're going to send you to our internal blah, blah, blah office, okay? Like the situation with Officer Schneider that is recorded on my YouTube channel. I'm trying to turn in Officer Schneider for crimes that he has committed. And they send me to Officer Schneider. I'm trying to turn in Scott DaCosta for crimes that he has committed. And I'm being sent to Scott DaCosta. I'm trying to turn in Amanda Jonas for crimes that she has committed. And I am sent to Amanda Jonas. You're not seeing an established pattern here? It's important to cut this shit off before it gets started. Cops are people too. They sin. Same as you. They'll fucking lie quicker than you will, though. And they'll work together to guarantee that the truth doesn't come out. They have the position to do it. They took an oath. Oh, so we're supposed to just believe them because they took an oath? Look how many of them are out there fucking raping and murdering. No, fuck your goddamn oath. I want access to your goddamn body cameras. And I don't want to be denied that right because I'm fucking broke. Either you need to help me turn it in person or you need to help me to turn it in over the internet. Either way, I need help turning it in. I don't have a fucking YouTube channel here for your fucking entertainment. I have a YouTube channel here to record the fucking truth. But no matter what crime is committed against me, I got more of my predators than any actual supporters on this channel. I can't think of anyone on this channel who has ever typed a goddamn thing on it as an actual supporter, because not a goddamn one has helped me to turn any of this shit in. Not a goddamn one. Stephanie Mejia was interested in getting dick, getting drunk, and getting drugged. That's not help. Meanwhile, because of the crimes committed by police, all of my money was eaten up by the courts. So I didn't even have the money to pay people. If I'd have paid Ventus money like I was planning on doing, of course, no, I was lied to by fucking cops, and instead of Megan Mistigate is coming forward about that, she wants to make excuses for the cops. Like, no, Megan. No. I already got the situation recorded, Megan. And I get that you want to help out the cops now that you're in deep shit. But it ain't gonna work. Bless you. The thing is, they have established a pattern there, Megan, of repeatedly victimizing me, and you have established a pattern of looking the other way. The help that I get is either hundreds of miles away, so I got to try to do it over the computer, which requires somebody to help me with the computer stuff. Or, of course, I got to travel to go see them, and they end up being drunk or fucked up on drugs. This is what it's really like. You tell me that I got to take care of it myself. Meanwhile, I'm not allowed because of the label of mentally ill and the label of homelessness. Assumptions and bias of homelessness. I do clean up my channel. When those trolls are messaging me, I block them. I block them. Hide user on this channel button. Easy. Can't do that in real life. Someone calling themselves wisdom seeker type. Hi, Sean. Hi. A bunch more crimes have been happening. When a crime is committed against me, I need someone to make the call with me. When a crime is committed against me 3 weeks ago, there are a lot of people I got a hold of. I explained I'm still taking the abuse. I'm still taking it. I'm abused almost every day. I have to be afraid of being victimized every day because I am. Victimized for poverty. Poverty that I was forced into because of injuries by predators. I'm easy to victimize. I am in a situation where people can tell that I am easy to victimize. And so they do. When Molly first started her shit, I needed help turning... Yeah, I needed help turning her in. The problem is, there's all these folks who say, oh, Sean, I care, I'll help. Well, you know what? You can't help. If there's a situation 3 weeks ago that you were going to help me to turn in, that I needed help with turning in, you ignored me for 3 fucking weeks. And this woman is committed to continue crime after crime after crime after crime against me. I'm tired of being abused. Genevieve just messaged me. Wisdom Seeker, I was pretty sure that you were one of the people that was typing at me that I was trying to get help from. The problem is that after weeks of trying to get help, yeah, I do give up on you and I move on. I try to find somebody else who's not full of shit. A lot of people tell me, oh, Sean, you know, my family this and my family that and my kids this and my kids that. Well, you know what? That's not what the cops said. And that's the point of you speaking up. If there's a reason that you can't do something, you need to speak up on that reason because the cops are going to sell their own fucking narrative. They're not going to do their job. I'm a homeless male. And if you're not willing to speak up, actually in those situations and help, actually help. Please don't message me that you're willing to help. Please don't make it so that when I am abused and I'm trying to get help that I have to continue to message you for 3 weeks. And then you treat me like I'm a bad person because you didn't keep your word. That's some scammer ass bullshit there. And no, Wisdom Seeker, I'm not saying that you're one of those. Gary Bardot was. There's a lot of those, actually. I mean, the situation with Mandy Hughes, you know, there are a lot of women that I know that were prostitutes. A lot of women that I know who admitted to being prostitutes. Told me why they were prostitutes. Some of them, it's because they had a screwed up ex-boyfriend who owed some drug dealers. Sometimes it was somebody whose dad owed some drug dealers. Sometimes it was Rihanna and Amy deciding they were getting out on their own. Both of them victims of fucking incest. Both of them used to sex as a tool. Yeah, they ran out of money and lost a tire and fucking needed to make money while they were in Cheyenne. Yeah, they were fucking prostitutes. Yes, that does happen. It is a lot easier for women to get into that than men. Jared Polis. Oh, hell yes. This is one of the people that I went to for help before Natalie was killed that's messaging me. Or afterwards, especially. Genevieve. Anyway, Genevieve is LGBT, very outspoken, and somebody that I went to try to get help from. Now, one of the things the cops wanted to claim, literally the cops that I was trying to turn in because they wouldn't do their jobs, wanted to claim that I wasn't trying to get help. And that people wouldn't help me, probably because of the way that I act. No, people wouldn't help me because they were cut off from helping me. They wouldn't help me because they were being threatened, harassed, and intimidated. People wouldn't help me because my name was slandered in a way that you don't fucking slander a man's name. The worst part is that shit didn't even come from Natalie. Natalie never once accused me of fucking touching her inappropriately. You know what people were assaulting me over? Maddie Boa claiming that I touched Natalie and Alicia inappropriately. Of course, them girls, they just couldn't stop lying once they got started. Natalie claiming that I stalked her there. Lying and claiming that I stayed behind her work for weeks. No, I stayed behind where her sister worked at her sister's request. Alicia Bollinger is still alive to this fucking day. Anybody could have dragged her bitch ass into court over this. Anybody. And all these people wanting to pretend like their name was dragged through the mud. No, your name wasn't dragged through the mud. You are mud. Dragged yourself through your own fucking filth. You shouldn't have lied to me. You shouldn't have lied to others. And you know what? No, I do not accept your cowardice as an acceptable excuse. You're afraid for your fucking kids, and I should understand that? No, fuck you. I'm afraid for your kids. I'm afraid for you. I'm afraid for my sister. I'm afraid for my niece. I am afraid of a lot of fucking people. You knew what you were fucking stepping into before you fucking stepped into that shit, you dumb motherfuckers. When you said, oh, you can handle it, you didn't handle it, did you? And then there's people like Jamie Curtis. When she wants to manipulate and not get her way, she wants to just scream at people. And they're supposed to fix it. Just like Molly. Molly needed to leave me the fuck alone. Instead, she runs around and fucking spreads rumors, so I'm getting harassed at fucking Fred Meyer's and getting harassed by the fucking cops. I don't want nothing to fucking do with her! But at this point, it is important to turn her in, and the fucking cops. And you're making me do all this alone. That's the thing. This is why people who are disabled are so horribly abused by the fucking system. You want to talk to us about our free fucking handouts? It's not enough to fucking live on. What about the free fucking handout of your wife paying half the fucking bills every goddamn month? What the fuck you consider a handout? When you broke your leg and your mommy and your daddy took you in and all of your stuff until your leg was healed, they fed you. They helped you to do the shit to get fucking your, workman's comp while you were off work because you were depressed and fucking lazy. I'm depressed too, but I'm not fucking lazy. I also have to pay attention to my surroundings. A police officer, homeless person, no fucking contest. We know what's gonna happen there. With Molly, look at this. I'm the one with the evidence, and Molly is the one who has had cops out and fucking harassed me repeatedly. And I explained to them, hey, she needs to fucking stop harassing me. Well, she also needs to stop sending the fucking cops to harass me. They need to look at the fucking evidence instead of making every goddamn excuse not to, or telling me I need to call 911 when it fucking happens. Well, guess what happens if I call 911? I gotta talk to fucking dispatch who plays fucking retarded. Yeah, they'll send somebody out, and then you get out there, and then you break the fucking law because you don't want to do your fucking job, because you only do your job for bitches. You're not going to do your job for anything with a penis. You're pissed off that you have to be there because somebody who doesn't have a vagina is in need of something, well, that you are supposed to provide to the public. Not to women. Not to women, to the public. That includes male victims, you pieces of shit. In person. In person. I take the evidence to show in person. I have it in person. It's there in person. And repeatedly, all of these places, instead of looking at the evidence in fucking person, even when I am showing it to them in fucking person, want to turn it off in fucking person. Like Tara Smith. At least I got her to verify in recordings that are on this very YouTube channel the things that I said about her were fucking true. Corruption is nationwide because the American people are cowards. That's as simple as it is. We got druggies who are running our streets because we've got two types of people. We got the Nazi government people, which is basically a bunch of people who think that nobody in the government could ever do any wrong, and that we should just allow police to go murder whoever the fuck they want. Lots of people want to say stuff like, you know, we should just give the police a license to go shoot all the crackheads and the homeless. Why you gotta include the homeless in that? And the crackheads are like, well, I live in the house. Why you gotta include the fucking crackheads in that? Divide and conquer, stupid. Now then we got the other half. You know, the first half, they want you to call the goddamn cops about everything. These are pampered people. People who, well, grew up in better conditions than the rest of us. These are people who actually believe the cops give a shit. Well, that's because they have situations that force the cops to give a shit. Maybe you're a good-looking, attractive female with a large chest. Well, that right there means that Americans are supposed to care. If it's an ugly old man walking down the street with a cane, no, we're not supposed to care. We're supposed to care because he's old. But I mean, really, between that old man and some pretty young girl, you're going to take the pretty young girl side, ain't you? Especially if she got a stacked chest. When it comes to stopping this stuff, it takes people in person. We've gotten to see on my channel how the fact that there was somebody in person there to stop the police, to fucking set them straight fucking immediately when they started that bullshit. It turned out well, didn't it? Absolutely it did. And why is that? Because then there's a witness. Then it's not their oath as a better human being than everybody else because he's got a badge and a gun versus one victim. No, now you've got witnesses to the victimization. Alright, I got a tiny snipe. And it's enough for me to go put in my tobacco pipe. I with my car today. There's a good reason for that. I need gas. And I got nowhere to fucking go. What's the point in driving just to drive? Then there's these folks who want to use me cursing when they're not doing their jobs, when they're assisting my predators in getting away, and then they want to pretend I'm a bad person because I curse. Whoo! That's a special kind of stupid, too. You got my friends killed. You got my loved ones killed. Your fucking incompetence has resulted in 6 years of fucking abuse. Your hatred and bias towards the homeless has compounded it. The fact that you believe white males can't be victimized just shows what a fucking useless goddamn piece of shit you are. The fact that instead of looking at evidence like you said you would, you wanted to just talk about your fucking self non-fucking stop, shows what a selfish piece of shit you are. And then you want to call me selfish because I told the truth. And then you wanted to claim that I slandered your name. And then you found out that it came out of your mouth. It is on my YouTube channel. It is recorded in your own voice, coming out of your very own face. And you wanted to call it slander. So, yeah, you just admitted to slander. You just admitted to slandering yourself by calling me the slanderer. Because it's already on there. When I recorded you 6 months ago saying, well, let's just make something up, just because we don't want to give away who any of these fucking assholes. This is going to be a fun one. Ball up your fist. Grr. Put on your grr face. This is my war face. Ugh. No, I didn't finish that line of thinking, did I? When it comes to changing the world, you can talk about it or you can be about it. When you got somebody who 6 months ago says, yeah, Sean, I'll help you. I'll help you turn it in tomorrow. And then 6 months down the road, they say, Sean, I never said I'd fucking help you turn it in. You're fucking slandering my name. See, it's already recorded. It's already on my YouTube channel. You knew that I record everything. Maybe you should have been smart enough to pay attention. It's not that I'm not trying to get help. It's that nobody fucking cares. When this lady here says if the cops do something, yeah, you know what? Here's the thing, Monica. If the cops don't do something, I have to. I absolutely have to do something. If you're not going to take it seriously, and you're not going to look at evidence, and you're not going to become informed enough to actually speak up in those situations, how can you advocate for me? Filling out the paperwork is fine and dandy, and I absolutely do need help with that. On Monday, that's what I'm going to be spending Monday doing. But also, she needs to understand the emergency that I am in, the state of crisis, and why. She needs to look at the evidence and know that I'm telling the truth. When I talk about the abuse by law enforcement nationwide, I get looked at like I'm a fucking nut job. Cops start talking over me and making excuses for other crooked fucking cops. That's how you can tell that the cops you're talking to are fucking crooked as well. What's more important, the safety of you and your family or the blue line of bullshit which they are protecting? Anybody on that side of the line is on their side. Anybody on this side of the line is not on their side. If you're not a cop, you're on this side. If you're not a cop, then you are liable to victimization if you try to turn in a cop, especially if you have to do it alone. By forcing me to do it alone, knowing that I was telling the truth, by not speaking up and forcing me to record it and put it on the internet. These people have showed that they didn't care. They don't love me. See, that's the thing. I actually do love people. Your safety is important to me. Your life is important to me. And so is the quality of that life. If you come to me and tell me that you're being abused and you need to turn it into the cops, then let's fucking do it. Not in 6 goddamn months, right fucking now. You gonna tell me that you're raped? Don't tell me you were raped unless you want my help turning it in. And if you want my help turning it in, you have to help yourself by turning it in with me. That is the responsible thing to do. Don't be a fucking dummy. Don't say, oh, I went in by myself and they didn't do anything, so I want you to go in by yourself. No, stupid. You need to go in with me. Molly, according to Tom, Molly is attempting to get him to do things that are against the law and to do them in his name. But that ain't right. Kind of like the situation with Megan Messigatis just fucking around like Jesus fucking Christ, lady. You wouldn't be running around like a chicken with your fucking head cut off trying to fucking take care of this shit if you'd have fucking properly recorded it instead of being a fucking dumbass. Those recordings aren't just for my safety, Meg. They're for yours. Now, the shit that the cops said about you, I've got the recordings with you, Meg, that show that obviously the cops were liars, not you. Obviously, you were a victim of Dual County Sheriff's Department and their politics. Yes, I have the evidence to prove that, Meg. But also, you fucked up and lied to me in a group conversation with multiple people, in texting where you can't destroy it. That includes Marcia Estrada, where you made claims that were obviously untrue, and thank goodness I got the evidence of that as well. A lot of folks say stuff like, don't lie to an overthinker. No. There's no such thing as an overthinker. You need to finish a thought to its conclusion. But do you? If you did, if you followed thoughts to their conclusion, which is difficult to do when you need to be listening, but you have some nugget that you want to spit out. So you're trying to remember what it is that you want to say and hold on to that nugget. You're literally not retaining anything that people are saying to you at that point in time because you have that one nugget that you want to spit out. That's the great thing about YouTube. None of you can talk over me. Megan Messigatis knew about an illegal firearm that I was blackmailed into making. She knew about it before I had to make it. And she tried pretending that she didn't know nothing about it. Shit, I was trying to turn that fucking thing in when I was arrested. That goddamn gun sat underneath that hotel room bed for 7 months while I was incarcerated. A gun that I was blackmailed into making and was trying to turn in. I did the responsible thing. I don't want a hunter fucking going in there or a fucking wannabe G going through there and finding that thing and going and fucking shooting somebody with it. It needed to be fucking turned in, but I needed help turning it in. I tried going to Dallas Richmond for help turning it in. Finally, I told him, you know what, dude, you can have all those AR-15 parts. All of them. I can't do nothing with them. I can't return them. He likes guns. He goes shooting. He's got a couple of firearms of his own. He's got a real nice 303 British. It's the same gun that I had. Dennis Dickinson actually has my 303 in his gun locker. He said if I ever have an occasion where I need it, come over and get it. Well, I've never needed it. If people were in Chapel, Nebraska, trying to kill people in Chapel, Nebraska, and I was in Chapel, Nebraska, close to Dennis Dickinson's house, and it was easier for me to go get the rifle over at Dennis's than it would be to go up to Wendell McPhee's and get the 22, then maybe I would go over to Dennis Dickinson's and wait for him to go through everything that he has to go through, his whole routine, so that he can take the gun out of the gun locker, whereas I know exactly where Wendell McPhee keeps his 22s. I know exactly where he keeps the ammo. It would be easier for me to go over to Wendell's, grab the 22, and fucking start shooting back. But that's not a scenario that I'm in. It's not a scenario that I've been in. So no, I don't need a fucking gun. If I do need a firearm, one will be provided for me, guaranteed. I'm too talented a shot for somebody not to put a gun in my hands. You also get to see that in person is where it makes a difference. In person is where you have the chance to actually do something, to actually help. And the amount of time that it has taken for you to come forward and help me with the very first situation that you promised me you would help me with. I have been victimized by those exact same people repeatedly since, and you still haven't kept your word to help me turn them in on the very first charge. It is your fault that they continued. It is your fault that you wasted my time. It is your fault that you lied to me. It is your fault that you wasted my resources. If you didn't keep your word and you put my life and the lives of my loved ones at risk because of a situation that was a family emergency, then yes, you need to fucking speak up about that. That's not your personal business anymore if that's your excuse for not telling the truth when people's lives are at fucking stake. God bless America, right? Anyway, I gotta see what Genevieve is up to. Good to be rid of you. Thanks for coming to visit. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Remember, you are your brother's keeper and no victim left behind.